So just come to the center if you're not, actually the screen looks pretty good. All right, so I want to go over the process for the wood slice. Come sit, get comfortable. I went upstairs and I was looking for the big ones. I only found a few. I know there's another box of them somewhere, but I think they're in room 219. So I have to ask Mr. White if I can get in there to grab them. So I just figured we'll start with the smaller ones. It's not a big deal. Actually, it's probably better to practice on the smaller one first and then do it on the bigger one. Okay. So I'm going to go over today, start to finish, how to do the wood slice. I'm recording it so that I can put it up on Classroom for you, because obviously not everybody is going to get to all of the steps of this today. This process does take a few days to do, just because there's some like drying time in between, and things like that. So the first step is that you need to have a picture printed. So that means you have to airdrop me a picture. Okay. So the sizing is going to depend on the slice of wood that you choose. So this one's kind of on the smaller side, but there's all different sizes. So my recommendation would be to like choose your slice first. The shapes are all a little, they're mostly circular, but they vary a little bit. So choose your wood slice before you send me your picture, so we can together, I can look at it with you and we can get the sizing correctly. Okay. So I printed my picture already. And the first step really is to take your little slice and you're going to line it up on top of your picture. Now you just kind of have to eyeball it, honestly. And once you have it lined up, you're just going to trace it all the way around. And then you'll cut it up. Okay, so scissors are on the cart. And you just want to cut it out a little bit inside of the line that you drew. Okay, because the line is the top, the line is the side of the wood slice, and you want yours to be shaped sized for the top. So you can cut a little bit inside your line. Okay. Now we're just going to check it out. And I'm going to trim a little bit on this side. You don't want it to hang over the edge, because it just kind of gives it room to peel. And at this moment, I want to tell you that if you have any writing, words, lettering, these will end up being reversed. So you want to make sure you reverse it. Okay. All right, that looks decent. I might trim a little bit more. So you want to have a little bit of wood showing on the edges. See how that's like that? We're going to trim it a tiny bit more. So you just kind of get a rough cut with the trace. And then you just kind of come back in and trim it a little bit. All right, that looks good. Okay, so once you have it cut out, you can actually set the wood slice to the side for a while, because you have to paint 3 coats of what's called acrylic medium. So that's what's in these buckets right here. I set up 2 stations at this table, so really only 2 people are going to be working on this at a time, just because of materials. So these white buckets have acrylic medium. Acrylic medium is like Elmer's glue in that it looks white when you're brushing it on, but it dries clear. Okay. And basically it's just liquid plastic. Okay. So you're going to paint on, and this is where the process gets a little lengthy, right? That was easy. So you're going to take your medium straight from the bucket, and you're going to really carefully Okay, and you only need a tiny bit, like there's too much on my brush. Really carefully paint a thin layer. It's really, really important that you don't get any on the back. Okay, those just make your life harder later on. Okay, so you're gonna paint a nice thin layer going in one direction. Okay. All right, now you have two options. You could be done for the period. You can be like, okay, I did that. I got one coat on. I'm gonna let it dry and I'm gonna do another coat tomorrow. Or if you're impatient and you want to speed up the process, there is a hair dryer that I plugged in at the back of the room. Okay, next to Carly over there. Okay, so what you could do is paint your coat and then dry it with the hair dryer, or you could let it air dry. So you could do this for 4 days if you want, or you can do it in probably 1 or 2. Okay, it's up to you. So I put on a coat going in this direction. I'm gonna let it dry, whichever way you choose, by the air or by the dryer. Oh, and then I'm going to do my next coat going in the opposite direction. Okay, so if I brushed this way, the next time I brush on, I'm gonna go this direction. And I'm still trying, no matter what, to not get anything on the back. You don't want it to stick to your paper and you don't want it to get to the back. So it is like a slow, delicate process. You really want to like kind of baby it. Because what's going to end up happening in the end is what's on these wood slices over here is no paper at all. There is, I know it looks like the whole picture like on the paper is on there, but all that ends up being on your wood slice is the acrylic medium, right? That plastic and the ink. All of the paper comes off. That's how, like, you can see the one where we have like the Golden Gate Bridge. You can see the wood grain through because there's no paper on there. Okay, so we have to be really delicate in terms of not getting anything on the back so that all the paper comes off in the last step. Okay, so the steps you're doing, you can do right now is one coat in one direction, dry it. Second coat, other direction, dry it. Third coat, other direction, dry it. Okay. Once you have 3 coats on, then you do a final coat. And with that final coat, you actually I'm not going to do it because we're not ready, right? But you actually sandwich it on top of the wood slice, and we do, another procedure that we'll go over another day, but nobody's ready. So towards the middle of the week, we'll probably go over that next step. But for now, your instructions are choose a picture, choose a wood slice. You and I will work together to get it to be the right size. You'll trace it, you'll cut it out, and you'll start doing your 3 coats, dry, second coat, dry, third coat, dry. And then when we're all kind of in that realm, we'll do another demo and I'll show you how to put it on. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So that is that. So I know you were more preparing for the bigger one. So you might have been thinking of that one in terms of what image you were going to use. So I know you might have to shift your thinking since I've decided we're going to do these first. So it might take you a minute to take a picture and that's okay. All right, guys. So you could be doing this today. You can be doing any of those things today. Okay. All right. Get started. Yes.